Hello and welcome to Good Life, the health show with me, Pooja. Well, this is a show that focuses on providing you with solutions to your health-related issues, lifestyle and much more. Well, viewers, hepatitis refers to an inflammatory condition of the liver and it's commonly caused by a viral infection, but there are other possible causes of hepatitis as well. Well, to discuss on the topic, we have with us live today Dr. B.D. Goswami, Senior Gastroenterologist from a Dispur Hospital and a hepatologist. Welcome, doctor, to Good Life, the health show. Indeed, it's a privilege to have you in our show, and we are going to discuss on the topic which we have taken today, hepatitis. What is hepatitis according to you? And if we talk about what is World Hepatitis Day, so what do you have to say on that?
Hello, all my viewers here for Northeast Live. So today definitely we are discussing on World Hepatitis Day. Mainly World Hepatitis Day means we have to make the awareness of hepatitis B and C, and that's why whole world will be observing Hepatitis Day, or in short, to eliminate the hepatitis B and C virus from all over the world by 2030. This year, the World Health Organization, they have given this theme to make a hepatitis-free future. That is the theme. Or we have to find the millions who are missing from the hepatitis B or C detection. Today, all over the world, hepatitis B and hepatitis C, these two viruses causing havoc to the population. We have got different viruses specifically damaging the liver,
Right.
or inflammation caused by the liver, caused to the liver. These viruses are hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis D, and hepatitis E. The name of the viruses are specific on the name of hepatitis because these particular viruses, 5 viruses,
Okay.
it directly damages the liver. But the B and C, these two viruses are very dangerous because it can lead to chronic liver problem, or it can lead to cirrhosis, or it can lead to hepatocellular carcinoma. That means cancer of the liver.
All
That's why this is the program all over the world, World Hepatitis Day.
All right. So, doctor, it's kind of an awareness that we are trying to project to our viewers who are watching our show. Doctor, I would like to ask you, what is the difference between hepatitis B and C? Is there any difference? Is there any difference we can talk about B and C?
Yeah, actually, basically, what I have already mentioned, hepatitis A, hepatitis E, these two viruses commonly causes the jaundice or fever, loss of appetite, and so on and so forth. But these two viruses are usually fecal-oral route transmission. That means these are transmitted by the food or through contaminated, if food is contaminated with any stool and all. So that is the main difference between hepatitis A and E and hepatitis B and C. These hepatitis B and C are transmitted by either the blood or body fluid or with the sexual contact. So B and C in one side, along with that sometimes if somebody has got hepatitis B, there may be the coincidence of hepatitis D.
Okay.
But hepatitis A and E are transmitted through the food. Basic difference these two.
Okay.
That's why A and E, it does not cause chronic problem. It will come to us, it can damage the liver to some extent, and after 4 to 8 weeks, usually it goes away.
Okay.
It does not cause a big problem. Sometimes only 1% of the cases, they can cause some trouble to the patient. But B and C, these two viruses, can cause long-term problem. Now your question is, B and C, are they different one? Yes. B virus is a DNA virus. C virus is a RNA virus. Other than that, basically the clinical symptoms, the patient what they get as a symptom, problem is more or less similar. You cannot say or differentiate between A or B or C or D or E. So B and C, only point is they comes through the sexual contact or through the body fluid or through the blood.
Okay.
But sometimes, mostly hepatitis C, it comes through the blood and the body fluid, and hepatitis also B comes mainly mother to children.
Okay.
Because if a positive hepatitis B patient, lady, pregnant, when she gives birth to a child, there is the transmission chance to the child is almost 90%. So that's how it comes from mother to the child, or also it can come also from the blood as well as through the body fluid. So that is the actual problem.
Okay.
Then again, hepatitis B virus is very prevalent in African countries, in Asian countries, or in the Middle East, whereas hepatitis C virus mainly it causes lot of trouble, or it is very prevalent in the Western countries, mainly the America or the European countries. They also have got B, we also have got C, but predominantly the Western countries, they have got C more than B, and Asian countries we have got B more than the hepatitis C. That is the basic difference of these two viruses.
All right, doctor, so if we talk about the causes of this disease, so what would be the basic causes that can people be aware about it, and they can make out and they can see the doctor as soon as possible? So what could be the causes, symptoms about this disease?
Yeah. So point is how the patient can know that they have got hepatitis B or C. First of all, I should mention, very important message should be given to the world as a whole, the population, public should know that we have got almost 325 million people today suffering with hepatitis B and C. But almost 290 million people, they don't know whether they have got B or C because they have not been checked, not tested. That's why they don't know. That means the people, they have got the virus, they don't know that they have got virus because they have not checked it.
Okay.
That is very important one. Number two, almost today in the world, 1.3 million people every year is dying from hepatitis B or hepatitis C every year. Next important point, it is 100 times more infectious than the H virus, what we call HIV.
Okay.
Then again, if somebody has got the hepatitis B or C, they have got very high chance, almost 200 times more chance of having the hepatocellular carcinoma, that means cancer of the liver. This is the basic thing we should know. But how they will know? Only point is if the patient has got the jaundice, but most of the cases we do not get these symptoms. Then suppose the patient has got something to do it, for example, they have gone for other causes to check the liver. So doctor will definitely check hepatitis B and C, then only they will know, or they will check the blood,
Okay.
they will know that they have got hepatitis B or hepatitis C. Or sometimes some people, mainly the Middle East, when people are going for any job, the people or the government from those countries, they ask for this test specifically. So then they have to check it, they will know that they have got hepatitis B or C.
Okay.
Or sometimes, suppose I want to give blood donation to a patient. So before the blood transfusion, they will check the virus, hepatitis B, hepatitis C or HIV. These three viruses are checked. then only they know that they have got hepatitis B or C or suppose HIV. That's how only the people can know
then they can
have got
transfer the
virus.
blood. Okay. All right, so these are the basic things one has to keep in their mind as this is what we are talking about, an awareness we are trying to put on hepatitis because World Hepatitis Day is nearing, and we are trying to talk to our doctor to get more and more inputs about these things. So doctor, if we talk about some more kinds of like symptoms, like if any of the family members are affected by this disease, so when is the right time to go and have a check?
Yeah, if suppose anybody has got jaundice suddenly, all of them should always check all the viruses I have mentioned specific to the liver, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, hepatitis A, hepatitis E or hepatitis D. That is the first thing. Everybody should check whether they have got or not. Because if the beginning, if we know that the patient has got hepatitis B or hepatitis C, we can take proper measure or preventive measure so that it does not go to the chronic problem, does not damage the liver or does not go to the stage of liver cancer. Then anybody has got in their checkup for other reason, for other reason,
for any other purpose,
they have got the checkup of the liver function test. In the liver function test, if something abnormal in the liver function test in the blood, they always should check whether patient has got hepatitis B or hepatitis C. Then for the doctor, they also advise if somebody has got the enlargement of the liver on examination, or suppose the patient has got enlargement of the liver or ultrasonography, they used to check hepatitis B and C. For example, in my clinic, we always check almost all of my patients. If they have got any suspicion of the liver, we always check hepatitis B and C to all the patients.
All right, doctor, we'll come back to that checking part as well. Yeah, I need to stop you because we have to slip into a short break, and we'll come back and again discuss on the same thing. All right, viewers, we will slip into a short break, but do come back soon because we have lots more on the other side. Welcome back, viewers. You're still watching Good Life, the health show with me, Pooja, and we are having a fruitful discussion with Dr. B.D. Goswami on hepatitis B and C, and to know about the symptoms, preventions, and also about the treatment. Let's go across again to Dr. B.D. Goswami. Okay, doctor, coming back to you again. Earlier to the break, we were talking about the proper timing of treatment and proper timing of the testing procedure, and you also mentioned that your hospital gives that opportunity that you test the patient properly when anyone comes with a problem of liver or if he is suffering from jaundice. So you always test this hepatitis B and C concern. So what more you want to add on this?
Yeah, the people should know the whole issue, whole problem of hepatitis B and C, because already I have mentioned how dangerous these two viruses are.
Right.
If the patient has got the chronic liver disease from hepatitis B and from hepatitis C, ultimately they end up with the cirrhosis of the liver. Cirrhosis of the liver, it is a chronic problem. The normal liver will transform to almost a solid hard organ, and the functions will be very much ultimately compromised, and then it will lead to the decompensation. That means what we call simply liver failure. The patient will have the edema of the legs, patient will have there will be water in the abdomen and like that. After that, there will be failure of the kidney, and then it will go for liver cancer. So that's why people should be very much aware of it. For example, for last 9 years, we are from Northeast Digestive and Liver Foundation. It is an NGO, and I am very much associated with it. Every year we are this World Hepatitis Day, we are observing it, making the awareness among the population.
All right, doctor. So, like, how do you aware people by these NGOs? Is there any awareness programs that has been conducted that has to be conducted to aware these peoples, maybe in schools or colleges, to make them understand what exactly the thing is, and maybe a parents' meeting as well, because this has to be gone to every nook and corner of every household.
Yeah. First of all, the World Health Organization already almost more than 10 years they are observing the World Hepatitis Day all over the world.
Okay.
Almost all the countries of the world in 2016, they have resolved that we should eliminate hepatitis B and hepatitis C from the world altogether by 2030, after 10 years from now. So for that reason, all over the world, people are observing World Hepatitis Day on 28th July. Actually, that is the day, it is a birthday who discovered, is a Professor Bloomberg. He actually discovered in 1967 the hepatitis B virus. Before that, we did not know about it. We could not identify this virus. And subsequently, after 2 years, he discovered, developed the vaccine against hepatitis B virus. So in his commemoration, we are observing this World Hepatitis Day. We are coming to the print media, the electronic media. We are going to the population on this particular day to the population awareness program, giving the public lectures all over the world. All the gastroenterologists and hepatologists are doing it. Right. And in Assam also for 9 years already, I have mentioned, we are doing this program.
Absolutely, doctor. And we are also trying from our show, this show. Right. Please continue.
Yeah, it will be very helpful for all the population. In fact, every year for last 8 years, we are observing the Run for Your Liver. This is a specific program on World Hepatitis Day. It is some sort of marathon from Guwahati Medical College to stadium, Nehru Stadium. Every year we did it so that the people can know about this whole problem of hepatitis B and C. But
right, doctor. So many initiatives, many initiatives have been taken by the health authorities and also from the health sectors to, as soon as possible, to aware people, because the target which the WHO has taken is 10 years, 2030. They want to eradicate this menace. So, if we talk about someone suddenly gets a virus positive, so what should be done to that? Is there any measure or is there any treatment on that?
Yeah, it is a very important question and everybody should know about it. First of all, suddenly if a person has got to know that he has got the positive virus, hepatitis B or suppose hepatitis C, we should know there is a treatment today for hepatitis B and C. We should not be panicked. There is definitely a treatment now. Earlier it was not there. Coming to hepatitis B, for example, first of all, the person should immediately tell his family members, check the hepatitis B or hepatitis C, all the members of the family. They should know whether they have got it or not. If it is negative one, immediately they should be vaccinated for hepatitis B, because we have got the vaccine so that it cannot ultimately infect that particular person. But hepatitis C, we do not have the vaccine yet. We are trying. Probably medical science will come up after a few years with a vaccine hepatitis C. After that, the basic precaution, the person who have got hepatitis B or C, he should take with the family members. He should always maintain that he should not share his razor, for example, nail cutter or the blades which he used personally, because it comes in contact with the blood or the body fluid and it can be transmitted to the other persons who also share with it.
So
For
has to
example,
maintain a proper
toothbrush
distance
even
with the
should
other
not be
family
shared.
members.
Distance, yes,
Okay.
exactly, proper distance, yeah.
All right, so proper
And
distance
other
has...
things also they should be very careful. For example,
Okay.
yeah, for example, people are nowadays very much fancy about the tattooing, and this is another way of transmission of the virus. So that's why when they are going to a barber shop or tattooing parlor or all, so they should always stick strictly that the needle or the blades, everything should be fresh one. It should not be shared with anybody. So that's how also it is transmitted, and we should be very careful about it.
All right, so these are some of the precautions, very basic precautions that one has to take while
Precaution
when
they should take,
yeah.
yes.
And if they come to know
Yeah.
that they have hepatitis B and C, they have to maintain these things. This is also good for their family members as well, isn't it? To maintain the distance, not to use the same items like the razors, the nail
Yeah.
cutters, and that might get transmitted to the family members as well. So now, doctor, if these are some
Other
of the
members,
precautions,
family members, yeah,
now if
exactly.
we talk about the dietary part, is there any precautions on the dietary part as well? What food to be taken and what food not to be taken? Is there any specific things that has to be taken note of it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
In fact, that is the basic mistakes we used to do. There is no any contraindication for any particular diet. Whatever he likes or she likes, she can take their own choice of food. There is nothing wrong with this particular or that particular food. So he should be not be ultimately avoid any type of food. Food is completely free.
Okay.
He can take any food.
All right, now doctor, like talking about the vaccination, it's available for hepatitis B as you have mentioned. So
Yeah.
we have also seen some like institutions and also like some NGOs that they have been providing a vaccination process in some schools or maybe colleges or also to some other affected areas. So is it like a safe to take those vaccinations, or one has to take note of some things that this vaccination is proper for hepatitis B or not? So how will the people make out?
Yeah, so it is very difficult, but presumably we think that it is okay. The vaccine is safe. There is no problem at all. But the main point is this vaccination should be 3 doses.
Okay.
Day 1, month 1, after 1 month, and after 6 months. In some cases, you can go for even booster dose after 5 years.
Okay.
If somebody miss the booster dose after 5 years, also it does not matter much. But these 3, day 1, that means today, after 1 month, after 6 months, it is a must. After that only the patient can get the proper immunization. Antibody will be formed in his blood. So that particular point should be taken care of properly. And if possible, before taking the vaccine, the patient should check whether he has got or she has got the virus already or not. Because what happens, sometimes I used to get some patients who is, suppose today he has got the virus positive. So he will say, I have already taken the vaccine, how it comes? Because this is the problem, so these NGOs or whoever is going to the rural
So
areas,
they already had
they
that
are
virus.
giving the vaccine without checking already they have got the vaccine virus or not. That is the problem
Okay.
sometimes. But for mass vaccination, it is also not a very significant problem, because patients should ultimately understand that he had the virus before the vaccine was given. So only they have to understand it. That is the problem. Otherwise,
All right.
nothing wrong with that also.
All right, doctor, now my like we are really getting short of time, so my maybe probably my last question would be to you: do rising drug worrisome? It's indeed the drug addiction is the worrisome in this context as well? What would you have to say on this?
Yeah, thanks, Pooja. That very important point you have already raised with this one. So what is the reality we are seeing? I have already mentioned hepatitis B and C and HIV. All 3 viruses are coming or transmitted through blood and the body fluids. So whenever there is IV drug users, drug addiction, wherever there is IV drug users, there is high incidence of hepatitis B and C,
Okay.
along with HIV. Earlier, that's why we got a lot of patients from our neighboring states. But today, in my practice, I have seen there is a rising trend of IV drug users in Assam. It is not only Guwahati. Guwahati, of course, is a high incidence, but the other small towns or districts, small
Assam.
towns, small districts, small villages even,
Okay.
in Assam, we are getting the rising trend of IV drug users. And they have got the virus, hepatitis C, HIV, sometimes hepatitis C alone, or sometimes hepatitis B alone.
Okay.
So this is a very dangerous trend coming to Guwahati. We should be very careful.
All right,
And
we
the parents
have to be
should
actually
be
very careful.
careful.
Yes, and parents play an
Yes.
important role in this entire context, isn't it,
Yeah.
Doctor? So, Doctor, we are really short of time, and thank you so much for
Yes.
giving your time at this point in time. I'm sure
Yeah.
the viewer who have watched our show must be benefited with the topic hepatitis, which we have discussed at this point in time. Thank you so much, Dr. B.D. Goswami, for joining to Good Life, the health show at this moment. And well, viewers, with this, we have come to the end of the show, and we hope that we were able to answer all your queries in the best possible way. And in our next episode, we will be discussing on some other important health issues. So if you have any queries, do join us next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. live. Till then, stay healthy, stay fit, and keep watching Northeast Live. Goodbye.